After the release of the Wii U in 2012, Nintendo was not doing well. Sure, the initial launch was fine, selling over 2 million units, very similar to the Switch and Wii, but the absolutely insane drop-off in the following months was unlike anything the company had ever seen. I mean, it was so bad, more people were buying a Wii in 2013 than a Wii U. So, what was Nintendo's grand plan to save this failing console and get more people to buy one? The year of Luigi. You see, 2013 had marked 30 years since Luigi's debut in the Mario Bros. Arcade game. So Nintendo randomly decided to celebrate it despite never acknowledging this prior. And as a lot of you might know, this didn't really work out for them, with 2013 seeing Nintendo lose over $456 million. But was Luigi really to blame for this as the internet suggests? Or was it something completely different? Well, in this video, we're going to find out all that and more as we take a look back at this hilarious year and see what really made it such a financial failure for the company, but also a year we'll never forget. So, without further ado, my name is Mariomikester, and welcome to A Year of Luigi Retrospective. The Year of Luigi was announced on February 14th, 2013 during a Nintendo Direct. And alongside this announcement also came the reveal of 3 Luigi-related games that would be released during the year. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, the first entry in the series since 2001, Mario & Luigi Dream Team, not technically a fully Luigi game, but one with a big focus on the green mustache man, with his dreams being the main gimmick, and finally New Super Luigi U, a DLC add-on for New Super Mario Bros. U that replaces every single level with brand new shorter and more difficult stages, as well as Mario being completely absent and the controls being more slippery and bouncy, referencing how Luigi controlled in the Lost Levels and Super Mario Bros. 2. This was already a crazy start to the year. I mean, this was the most attention Mario's brother had gotten pretty much ever. But it didn't just stop there. If you lived in Chicago in August of 2013, you got to be one of the many few lucky enough to ride the Luigi train. Yes, as crazy as it sounds, Nintendo partnered with the Chicago Transit Authority to briefly rename one of their L-Line trains into the Luigi Line, with the train being redesigned with a green color scheme and a bunch of cool Luigi-related artwork and promotions. Also, on one of the days this special Luigi line was running, Luigi himself, well, someone in a Luigi costume if you're lame, rode the train, and you got to take pictures, hang out with them, and even play a New Super Luigi U demo at kiosks spread throughout the many train stations. Stuff like this really goes to show how much effort Nintendo put into making this year something special, even if it did end up being a failure in the end. And finally, later in the year in December, the final Luigi game was announced in a Nintendo Direct. Dr. Luigi. Another entry in the Dr. Mario series, but this time a Luigi version. This is actually the only game from this year I've never played, but looking at footage online, it just looks like an HD version of Dr. Mario. But hey, if you played this one, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. And while you're there, don't forget to check if you're subscribed. Because if you're not, I heard Dr. Luigi will appear in your room at 3 AM. Speaking of the games released though, the first to come out was Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon in March. And coinciding with the release, Nintendo held Luigi's 72-hour sale. Which is exactly what you'd think it is. A 72-hour sale where Nintendo's website turned green, and a bunch of Luigi-related merchandise and games went on sale. The main event of this time was obviously the new Luigi's Mansion game. I mean, it had been almost 12 years since the first one came out, and this new one released to critical acclaim. I remember picking this up when it came out and having an absolute blast. There was, however, a huge difference between Dark Moon and the original. While the original Luigi's Mansion is praised and regarded highly to this day for its immersive atmosphere, arcade-style gameplay that keeps you coming back to replay it and get a higher score, and of course the fact it actually tried to be a little creepy and scary, Dark Moon, on the other hand, really leaned into a more cartoony style of horror, almost imitating Scooby-Doo in how it handled the ghosts and general animation of the game. I personally love how much this game leans into that Scooby-Doo-esque style, as I think it gives the game so much personality, and fits Nintendo and Luigi as a character a lot more. But I can definitely understand why many were disappointed with how different this game was in tone to the first. But the tone wasn't the only big difference either. Dark Moon also completely abandoned a ton of what made the first game so special to so many people. First off, the length. The original Luigi's Mansion was a game you could pretty much beat in one sitting. And because of this, a huge draw of the game was trying to speedrun it and get as many secrets and gold as possible, so you could get the best rank mansion. And while some semblance of that ranking system still exists in Dark Moon, it's more so there as a homage to the first game, as this one is way more of an action-adventure type game than an arcade-style one. This is because of its mission-based structure and the fact that there are multiple mansions to explore. You can still go for ranks in this game, of course, as each mission has a star ranking, but it definitely doesn't hit the same as that iconic mansion rank from the first game. Overall though, while some were definitely disappointed with how different this game was, it still was at the end of the day a new Luigi's Mansion game, and a pretty good one at that. The next game to release this year was New Super Luigi U in June. Initially released as DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U, and then getting a standalone physical release the following month, this is the game from this year I have the most experience with. I actually found an old Miiverse post of mine of me just straight up lying and saying I beat the game first try without taking damage, which I know for a fact is not true at all, because even as an adult I probably couldn't even beat the first level damageless, but I digress. New Super Luigi U is a really cool game. It takes everything that made New Super Mario Bros. U great, but turns up the difficulty to 11 and turns the timer down to 100 seconds. The main gimmick of this game is that the levels are very short, which at first may sound super lazy and boring, but in practice you have these jam-packed levels that never feel dull for even a second. That's not to say Mario U had a lot of boring levels, but Luigi U really stepped things up in its level design because they didn't have a lot of space to put stuff in. There's also a ton of cool ideas in here that we just never saw in Mario U. You have this vertical level that's almost reminiscent of the original Donkey Kong arcade game, with these guys throwing barrels at you, and even a new character introduced, Nabbit. As since you can't play as Mario, they needed a fourth playable character for 4-player co-op, so they brought in that one weird enemy Nabbit from Mario U. His thing is that he can't be damaged by other enemies, but also can't ride Yoshi's or even use any power-ups. He's more of an easy mode than anything, but a cool addition nonetheless. Also, the physical release for New Super Luigi U is one of my favorites of the Wii U era. Instead of a blue bordered box, this time it's green and even has a custom Year of Luigi emblem slapped on the top left. I really miss when Nintendo used to do stuff like this. It's so creative. Speaking of creativity though, the next big Luigi release of this year was Mario & Luigi Dream Team in July. This game sees Mario, Luigi, Peach, and some Toads being invited to go on a vacation to Pi'illo Island. Looks like Mario didn't learn his lesson last time he went on vacation to an island, because before they even arrive there, they end up in some trouble and even end up crash landing on the island. But after a bit of exploring, they learn of a magical portal that opens when Luigi sleeps in a certain area. This sets into motion the main gimmick of this game, that being Luigi's dreams and the shenanigans that go on inside of them. You see, in Dream World, you control Mario and Luigi on a 2D plane, very similar to 2D Mario games, and have to do platforming alongside exploring and fighting enemies. Whereas you have the classic 3-dimensional exploring and fighting in the real world as you explore the island. This next to Bowser's Inside Story is definitely the fan favorite Mario and Luigi game, as it has a ton of cool gameplay and story elements. The focus on Luigi is probably my favorite part of this game. It's really cool to get up to all the wacky shenanigans in Luigi's head. And even though this is the same amount a Mario game as a Luigi game, as they literally share the title, this is more a Luigi game than anything to me. Also, don't get mad at me, but I've never actually beaten this game, so I can't really talk much about the latter half of the story and gameplay, but I'm working on it, okay? Overall though, of what I've played, this is definitely my favorite entry in the series. The 2D platforming and just world in general of this game are super fun, and I've been having a blast working through it. The final game released for the Year of Luigi though, didn't even come out in 2013. It actually came out in January of 2014, which is Dr. Luigi, which we talked about earlier. However, another big game that came out this year that is technically Luigi related is Super Mario 3D World. This game of course features and lets you play as Luigi, but also has a secret 8-bit Luigi hidden in every main level of the game. Some of these are super obvious and are things you'd notice on a casual playthrough, while others are really well hidden cool Easter eggs that you'd only find if you're looking for them. Like, for example, in the last level of World 1, if you hang out on top of these bricks for a while, you'll eventually see a giant 8-bit Luigi swimming in the water, before eventually fully submerging and going somewhere. I hope you're okay, Luigi. These are insanely cool, and I used to love looking for these when I was a kid. There are some to this day I've still never found. Also, if you loaded up this game with Luigi U save data on your console, you got to play a cool reskin of the Mario Bros. Arcade game called Luigi Bros. I never really touched this as a kid outside of once or twice just for the fun of it, but it's still another cool way this game celebrates the year of Luigi. Also, you unlock this just by beating the game if you don't have Luigi use save data. Games weren't the only thing that released during this year to celebrate our green friend though. There was also a ton of merch and questionable videos that came out too. In terms of the questionable videos, a day after the year of Luigi was announced, Nintendo posted a video of their YouTube channel simply titled Luigi Does the Harlem Shake. And well, I'll just let you take a look at this one. Yeah. According to the description, this is apparently what happened after Nintendo told Luigi that 2013 was going to be his year. And after seeing this, I suddenly don't feel all that bad about the $456 million loss anymore. Jokes aside, I really miss when Nintendo did stuff like this. Like, I know it's really cringe, but also it's super cute at the same time. Because there really isn't any reason to do this other than pure love of the game, and I adore that. In August, they also released a hilarious parkour video called Finding Luigi, which showed off a guy in a Luigi outfit doing a bunch of cool parkour tricks, meant to show why Luigi is more agile and can jump higher than Mario. This video is so random, but also features a bunch of prominent Nintendo YouTubers at the time, and it's super funny to look back at. Hey, maybe I'd be in this if I was doing this back then. In terms of merchandise though, if you completed a survey on the Club Nintendo site, you got entered into a draw to win this cool Luigi pin, in which about 1,000 were given out to winners. If you really want one of these today, they go for about $50 on eBay, but I don't think it's all that worth it for a simple pin if I'm being honest. They also had a very similar thing for people in Europe where you could get this Luigi coin, which goes for about the same price. The coolest piece of merch released during this year though, had to be the Luigi Special Edition 3DS XL. This thing plastered a bunch of Luigi silhouettes on a cool white background and just looks so dang cool. I actually really want to pick one of these up after learning about it. Come on, imagine Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon with the 2 custom Luigi pins on the Luigi 3DS. Now that's how you celebrate the year of Luigi. Unfortunately, this one was only released in Japan, while over in North America, we got this lame one only featuring one Luigi, and some other dude with him. I think his name's Marvin or something, I don't really know. Okay, but why wasn't this one released everywhere? It's such a cool design. It's definitely my favorite of the many special edition 3DSs. And that was the year of Luigi. Definitely a weird year, but one so full of creativity and love for one of Nintendo's most iconic characters that it's pretty hard to dislike. They did so much for this guy just because they loved him. But was Luigi actually to blame for this year being a huge financial failure, or was it just pure coincidence? Well, I don't think it was a coincidence that this year ended up being one of Nintendo's worst ever, but I definitely don't think Luigi is to blame for it. The real reason 2013 was such a big loss was purely because of the Wii U's poor sales. This was its first full year on the market, and the immense drop-off from the release month and the fact that more people were buying a Wii than a Wii U this year is why it was such a loss. Nintendo was putting a lot of money this year into celebrating Luigi, but the reason they didn't make it back wasn't because of Luigi, it was because no one cared about the Wii U. I guarantee that if Nintendo did another year of Luigi in 2023 for his 40th anniversary, and put even half of the money they put into the first one into that, it would have more than tripled in profits. Not because of Luigi, but because of how much more successful Nintendo is as a company now. The year of Luigi may forever go down as one of Nintendo's worst years financially, but creatively, I think it's one of their best. This era of Nintendo is one I miss a lot. They put so much love, care, and work into celebrating this character that they literally had him riding a train designed after him. So, in the end, I think the year of Luigi was a huge success creatively for the company, and as a year I will never not love and respect. You're the GOAT, Luigi, and don't forget it.